So this video is going to be about my belief and do I believe in God? I'm going to say yes, I highly believe in God. Um I believe that there was a Jesus Christ. I want to talk about that. I want to believe that I do believe that there is Jesus Christ, but I don't believe that it is how it's written in the Bible. I don't believe it's how it was written in the Bible at all, and how religion tries to make it sound like all these miracles and everything. Do I believe that Jesus Christ was a good person? Yes. I believe he was a regular person, like they say, maybe he was a carpenter. We can just go by what we hear. We don't know, is it really true? I do believe in Jesus Christ, but I think that there's a lot of embellishments, is what I'm going to say. And because the fact that I think that religion was put upon, well, Christianity was put among the slaves. So if Christianity was put among the slaves to convert whatever religion or whatever um, doctrines that they went by when they were, before they were slaves, when they were free and in Africa, and then, you know, the Europeans, the colonizers came and brought them to America, and then they put Christianity onto them. But Africans were not originally Christian. Pretty much nobody was except for the Europeans. And they used Christianity as control over people. You know, like they say, forgive 77 times, forgive incessantly. One reason for that is why they say that is because the slave masters were doing very bad things to the slaves. So, what better to make them believe in God and make them believe that if they forgive, that they'll go to heaven and everything like that. So that's how Christianity pretty much got started. It started from the colonizers. So no, I even though they say if you believe in Jesus Christ you're a Christian, I say I believe in Jesus Christ, but at the same time I don't believe in religion. So I don't believe in religion at all. Religion, religion divides people. I don't like that. Jesus spoke to all. Jesus didn't, you know, turn away from people just because they weren't of a certain race, belief system, or anything. He still performed miracles on everybody. Yes, ma'am. But I don't believe that Jesus Christ walked on wine and all the stories in the Bible as far as Noah inside of a whale and Noah's Ark, all the animals on the ark for how many days was it? I forget how many, 40 days and 40 nights on an ark with animals having babies and pooping and peeing, and it's just hard to believe. So me and my son read this whole book. We started reading it every time I would see him. And for the summer, I would have him a week, and his dad would have him a week. And then on the school year, I have him every other weekend, and his dad has him every other weekend. So we read this book, the My Book of Bible Stories, which is from the Jehovah Witnesses. And I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. And I never got baptized as a Jehovah's Witness, though, because I was afraid to be ostracized. Because of the fact that people get baptized so early as a Jehovah Witness, and I noticed that I didn't want that lifestyle. They keep you in a box. I didn't want that lifestyle at all. And if I were to mess up, I would get disfellowshipped and nobody would be able to talk to me again. And that's just, I already was like isolated from people. And then make it even worse to be disfellowshipped, that I could not become a Jehovah's Witness. So when I moved out the house, that was it. But anyway, so me and my son read this book, My Book of Bible Stories, and I actually let him decide which people should do for their children. Instead of telling them you're going to go to church and you're going to be this religion and you're going to get baptized on this day, why don't you let them make the decision? So I asked him, he's 9 years old, and I asked him, do you think that every time I finish a story in this book, I would ask him, do you think that was fake? Made up story? Like a fairy tale? Or do you think that it was real? There's one story in here about a donkey talking to an angel. Or a donkey, no, the donkey was talking to a man. And Caleb pretty much just told me, like, Mom, donkeys don't talk. And same with Adam and Eve and the snake. Snakes don't speak. Snakes don't do that either. So, one question he asked me was, and I had this question as an adult, but he asked me now. He said, why did people talk to God and God could hear them and answer back, but now he can't? My response was, he never did talk to people out loud. So, and respond back and out loud, and then the storm and the thunder and his voice is really loud. I don't think that happened. I mean, if you do, that's fine. But I don't think that happened. Why can't we hear God now? Because he never was out loud like that. If anybody needs help, all the wars and things they had in the Bible with Egypt and Egypt against Jerusalem and Sodom and Gomorrah and all of those places with God catching them on fire and God casting people out. We need God more than ever now. It's funny that when society grew and as time went on, you don't hear of those Bible stories anymore. Like, the Bible does not continue. I don't know when last of Revelation. I'm going to Google that. When was the last Revelation was written? When was Revelation written? So, all those people back then have died. So there's no way we can go and ask them, like, hey, did you see Jesus walk on water? Because I think that Jesus, yeah, like I said, I think Jesus was real. A real person in history that was just a high vibrational person that functioned at his ultimate vibration that he could, and he was a really good person, and people didn't accept him because they were doing bad, and it could be we don't see it today, but it could be possible that a person healed somebody off of their own vibes and energy. But the thing that me and my son were talking about was God has his son is Jesus. Then Mary and Joseph are the parents of Jesus. So the part that messes me up, that I never got baptized as a Jehovah's Witness because it just didn't make sense to me. How can a virgin, why would God put Mary through that situation? To explain to her husband Joseph that she is now pregnant but she didn't have sex with anybody. Like, how can Joseph believe that? What if Joseph didn't believe that? And so did Jesus. So Jesus was a adult man up in heaven with God or Jehovah, and then all of a sudden he turned into a seed in Mary's belly. Like, how did she get pregnant with him? Like, he had to turn in from. It just don't make sense. It just does not make sense to me whatsoever. It's a lot of questions, and then they say don't question God, that you're supposed to just walk with faith, blind faith, and just go along with it. I can't do that. I can't not ask questions. Like, you want to, and then it says that to have a full understanding and to meditate on the word. So which one is it? Don't ask questions, or meditate on the word and try to study the Bible, but don't ask questions. How can you study something and not ask questions? That religion is so messed up to me. I would never be a Baptist, a Protestant, be Catholic. I just can't. I don't like religion. I don't at all. Next to racism. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I have a lot of those. Jesus could have been real. I'm not. It says to believe and you'll be saved and believe. I can't really force myself to believe 100% into something that I cannot see. Now, I do have a video. This could be something. I do have a video saying that I have seen Jesus. And what I thought I have seen, it seems like that's what happened. At the same time, I was going through a lot of stress. So could it have been that did I really see Jesus, or was I so stressed out that I prayed super hard and wanted to see Jesus that I saw him? But I honestly, that's the only thing that's making me believe in Jesus is my sightings of him that I thought I had or I could have. That's the only thing that makes me believe in him. Believe that he could be real. But then it's a little inkling that's there that's like, maybe I could have been hallucinating. I was so stressed out and praying so hard and wanting so badly for somebody to hear my prayers that I honestly thought I saw Jesus once I woke back up. Like, I fell asleep praying and I woke back up. I don't know. I'd have to see. The only way I can fully believe that this is a real man that is coming back. He's supposed to have been back. My grandma was supposed to have seen Jesus like a bunch of times. But do I believe that? How does the Bible depict that again? I can't remember. The rapture is supposed to happen first. People just going up into the air. The sky is supposed to open up. I don't know. I forget what happens when Jesus comes back. Jesus is supposed to have been back. But I'm not going to make some of y'all mad out there. But I'm just saying, I don't judge if you believe in it or you don't. But some of that stuff you got to give yourself credit for. Some of that stuff, you did it. You did it. You got out of that situation because you physically... That's one thing that you can depend on, and you know that that's real, is that you worked yourself out of a situation. God could have pushed you forward by giving you strength, but you worked for it too. So give some of that is your credit. Yeah, pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a round of applause for real. That's you. But these stories in this Bible, I just can't. You know what? When I was in high school, we were reading Shakespeare. And I was like, dang, some of this sound like the Bible. Like, some of the stories in the Bible parables and all sounds like a Shakespearean play. If you go down there and you read all in the Bible, I'm talking about some of the stuff that in the Bible, if it was a movie, it would be beyond rated R. What is that? NC-17 or not even rated. The Bible has some crazy stuff in it. Like, I think Lot got his. If you look in the Bible, I'm not kidding. Y'all Google this. Lot got his daughters drunk. I'm trying to say it in a way that YouTube won't kick me out of here. But Lot got his daughters drunk, and you know what happened after that. That's disgusting. But why would you need to put that into the Bible to teach people just to be a good person? I don't know. But it's a lot in the Bible that is just, that makes people that are predators prey on people and make it okay because they did it in the Bible. Like, there's no reason and no need to put in the Bible that you got your daughter drunk and you had your way with them. Or it's okay to sell your daughters for 3 pieces of silver. Like, no, like, why would you need to put that in there? That does sound like something that a colonizer would do. This stuff is, that's not what Egyptians, well, part of Africa, you know, the Africans did not do that. I'm sorry, like, everything started from the motherland, from Africa. So there's no way you can tell me that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is from the Middle East. Those aren't even Middle Eastern names. Sarah, come on now. Sarah, Esther, Ruth, and Naomi. Those are not Middle Eastern names. Paul, Solomon, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are not Middle Eastern names. Supposedly Hebrew or Jewish or Israeli. Those names do not apply in Ethiopia or anywhere in Egypt. I'm sorry. Those names sound like European names. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, Sarah, Ruth, and Naomi. So you can't tell. And you know what? People will call me wrong and crazy, but if you think about it, just think about it. Just think about it.